And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Fields of Fame. This is an expansion for Raiders of the North Sea. Now, Raiders of the North Sea is a game that has really been improving for me, really getting better as time goes by. And this expansion adds, there's two larger expansion for it. There's Hall of Heroes and Fields of Fame. And the cool thing is that you can play with either one, or you can put them both together, and you really don't notice. I mean, they both add to the game, but they don't change it so much that it's too difficult to put them together. But this one adds Jarls. Jarls that you can crush them, or make them join your crew, or run from them. And it also adds wounds, and it just adds a little bit more stuff, and a fifth player. Let me show you. In Fields of Fame, you're going to get this sideboard that attaches to the side of your board here. This is going to give you some extra places to attack, a township here, area that you can go in and hit that. It also has a fame track, and so each player is going to put a marker here. By the way, the game comes with enough stuff for a fifth player, so you have orange now to include it. And you have a bunch of Jarl cards, which you're going to be placing here on this spot. Each player themselves is going to get one of these little boards and place them in front of them. The game also comes with an extra set of dice. This is a variant. You don't have to use these. It's basically the same as the regular dice in the game, except the twos have basically a chance for you now to get a Valkyrie and die. So it depends. If you want to see more of that happening in game, just use these dice. It's a minor thing. They also look cool too, right? The game comes with these two. This is especially useful when you're playing with a 5-player. You now have tokens for 5 goods or 5 coins. And so the game is going to play normally. The main difference is at the beginning of the game, when you're placing all of this stuff on the board, these Jarl tokens are going to be mixed in with everything else, just like the Valkyrie and the good tokens, and you'll be placing some of them and they'll show up in different spots along with the goods. When you hit one of those areas as an attack, you will draw the top card of the Jarl deck. Now, when you meet a Jarl, there are 3 things you can do. 1, you can run away from it. All right, that's the worst option, but sometimes you have to do it. You lose either a victory point or you lose a fame, whichever one you can do or are willing to do. Then, or the other options are kill it or subdue it. When you kill it, you're going to get the killing bonus down here. So here, you just get a card. Great. And you're also going to get 2 fame on the track here. Fame is important because at the end of the game, depending on how your fame is, you're going to get extra points. To kill a Jarl, you're going to need to take wounds equal to their strength plus 1. So this one has a strength of 5, so you would need to take 6 wounds. Now, when you take wounds on your characters, each character that you have can take wounds up to their strength. So, for example, this character, this hero here, could take up to 4 wounds on them. Wounds don't kill them, but you can't take more wounds than you're able to, which means sometimes you simply can't kill a Jarl. Not to mention, wounds also will subtract from their strength in future battles. So if I have 4 wounds on him, this person's essentially going to be worth 0 in future battles. Not so keen on that. But you do get a cool bonus here and the 2 fame. You can subdue them, which means add them to your crew. There you take their value, subtract 1, so I would need 4. By the way, all the Jarls are 4, 5s, and 6s. So I would need 4 to subdue it, and then they join your crew. Of course, you got to pay their cost too. And then at the end of the game, many of these guys will give victory points. This guy gives victory point for every 2 Valkyrie that you have taken. And so each Jarl is completely different. You kill this guy, you get an extra fame. You'll get 3 fame for killing him. And this guy gives you a victory point for every 3 fame you have. Gain a gold, or a victory point for every Jarl you subdued. 4 victory points if there are no wounds on this card. Or when you kill him, you get 2 victory points. Get a livestock when you take her out, or get a victory point for each pair of offerings. You can see each of these folks gives you different benefits. And I'm sorry, they're not 4, 5s, and 6s, they're all 5s and 6s. And they cost different amounts. So when you add them to your crew, they stay there. You can never put them in your hand. You're never going to be able to play these cards. They're just in your crew. But it gives you an option when you're going out and taking them out. That's pretty much the main thing in this game. But we do want to talk a little bit about the wounds and the things like that. And so what this game does is it comes with a whole lot of extra cards to add to your deck. Each of these cards has an icon in the corner, a shield. And these cards are going to do different things with the new stuff here. So like, for example, some of these cards can be played to get rid of wounds. There really is no other way to get rid of wounds other than these cards at play, or if you just have the person die. Sometimes I have a person with a lot of wounds, I'm like, you're retiring, buddy. It's time to put someone new in your place. Or if they do fight a Valkyrie, it's time for to take them out. Here you can force someone else to take wounds. Or if killed in a raid, this guy forces all opponents to take a wound. If this young lady is killed in a raid, you gain 1 fame, or you can lose 4 silver to gain a fame. So there's things here about working with fame. There's a couple cool heroes. Gain 1 strength for every 2 fame you have. Gain 1 strength for every Jarl you've killed. Gain 1 strength for every 2 wounds on your crew. That's pretty cool. So if your crew is wounded, this guy becomes even more powerful. So that's some of the cards. There's really a lot of cards in this set. Many of them have to do with Jarls too. Gain 1 silver after subduing Jarl. Take 1 less wound when subduing a Jarl. Draw 1 card when subduing a Jarl. Take 1 less wound when killing a Jarl. So there's duplicates of a lot of these cards in the deck, and it just adds more variety no matter what. That's what's in this game, or in this expansion. So the components in this game are fine. I mean, we have the boards that fit together. It doesn't take up that much more space on the board. The Jarl cards are really easy to tell apart, but once you flip them over, they kind of look like everybody else, and they look good, and everything is high quality. Each person has this little board here. This is essentially just what you're going to do with the Jarls, right? It's just a way to remember that if you're going to kill them, it's 1 more than wound, and if you're going to subdue them, it's 1 less wound, and if you flee, what happens, and if you kill them. It's kind of just like a nice little board to keep track of this, and you can also keep track of the number of Jarls that you've killed and subdued. But other than that, this one has fewer components than the other expansion, but it's still pretty cool. So Fields of Fame is a really good expansion. Now, like I said, I already like the Raiders of the North Sea. And I know the question that's going to be asked is, do you like this one or the other expansion better? I actually kind of like them both the same. I think the other one has more stuff and gives some more venues of things to do. But the Jarls in this one are exciting. I always get excited when there's a Jarl to fight. And I'm like, sit there and go, do I want to beat him or do I want to add them to my crew? And then just the Fame track itself being over there. And then having more cards. With both, just using this one or using the other expansion or both, the different cards you can have for your crew are really cool. There's a little thing that's in it's in both expansions, where at the beginning of the game you can draft your starting hand and you get to start with 1 person in your crew already. I really like that. It does help speed up the game. I don't care about the 5th player. I think Raiders of the North Sea is perfectly fine with 4. But this one adds basically that one idea of Jarls. They're cool. They're great. Go fight them, make them join your crew, get points at the end of the game, or defeat them and make your fame go up, but at the cost of those wounds. And the wounds is kind of an interesting thing. So, I mean, you can heal wounds, but the dilution of the cards that heal wounds into the deck doesn't mean you're always going to get them. So many times when people are wounded, you're just going to have to suck up those wounds or eventually replace them, which is thematic. I like that. And it also keeps some crews rotating. You know, that person has that perfect crew and they're never going to get rid of anyone in that crew. Well, here you have that opportunity to see them say, I'll take out this Jarl and that was cool, but my perfect crew's kind of wounded now, not so powerful. Yeah. And there's one more thing. This is a small addition. I didn't mention it in the rules review because I want to talk about it now, that you might not know about. If you look right there on the small board, you'll see those numbers there, and it's a way to get extra fame. When you fight a battle and you go to that highest number that's in the battle and you roll the dice and you add in your armor and you have your crew and they are tough and amazing, and so you need, for example, what's one of them? It's 36 and you get 40. You're like, why am I even rolling the dice then? Why am I even worrying about this? You're worrying about it because now if you go over by 4 in a battle, you get an extra fame. If you go over by 12, you can get 3 extra fame. And that extra fame can be extra victory points at the end of the game. And I really like that addition to the game. It's a small thing, but now, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone hit the 12 yet anyway. I've seen the 8 happen for sure. But now you have the opportunity to be like, hey, I'm going to dominate this battle and get even more fame. And that kind of concept there, because before when you would go fight those battles, you would say, oh yeah, I'm going to get the most victory points. But there's even more possibilities now. It's a small addition, but really makes the game a lot of fun. And gives you more places to attack too. Great, great expansion. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.